Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajrakacharya Astakara Sakashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nanta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We're starting a new chapter. This is chapter 53, Krishna kidnaps Rukmini. So I'll start by reading the summary of the chapter. This chapter describes how Lord Sri Krishna arrived in Kundina, the capital of Vidarbha, and kidnapped Rukmini in the presence of powerful enemies. After Lord Krishna had heard the Brahmana messenger recite Rukmini's letter, the Lord said to him, "I am indeed attracted to Rukmini, and I know of her brother Rukmi's opposition to my marrying her. Therefore I must kidnap her after crushing all the low-class kings, just as one might generate fire from wood by friction." Since the solemnizing of vows between Rukmini and Shishupal was scheduled to occur in only 3 days, Lord Krishna had Daruka ready his chariot at once. Then he immediately set out for Vidarbha, which he reached after one night's travel. King Bhishmaka, trapped by his affection for his son Rukmi, was prepared to give his daughter to Shishupal. Bhishmaka saw to all the necessary preparations. He had the city decorated in various ways and had its main roads and intersections thoroughly cleansed. Damagosh, the king of Chedi, having also done everything necessary to prepare for his son's marriage, arrived in Vidarbha. King Bhishmaka greeted him properly and gave him a place to stay. Many other kings, such as Jarasandha, Shalva, and Dantavakra, also came to witness the occasion. These enemies of Krishna had conspired to kidnap the bride if Krishna came. They planned to fight him together and thus guarantee Shishupal his bride. Hearing of these plans, Lord Baladev gathered his entire army and quickly went to Gundinapur. On the night before the wedding, Rukmini, about to retire, had still not seen either the Brahmana or Krishna arrive. In anxiety, she cursed her bad fortune. But just then, she felt her left side twitch, a good omen. Indeed, the Brahmana shortly appeared and related to her what Krishna had said, including his firm promise to kidnap her. When King Bhishmaka heard that Krishna and Balaram had arrived, he went out to greet them, to the accompaniment of triumphant music. He worshipped the lords with various gifts and then designated residences for them. Thus the king showed due respect to the lords, as he did to each of his numerous royal guests. The people of Vidarbha, seeing Lord Krishna, remarked to one another that he alone would be a suitable husband for Rukmini. They prayed on the strength of whatever pious credit they had, Krishna might win Rukmini's hand. When the time came for Srimati Rukmini Devi to visit the temple of Sri Ambika, she proceeded there surrounded by many guards. After bowing down to the deity, Rukmini prayed to be allowed to have Sri Krishna as her husband. Then she took the hand of a girlfriend and left the Ambika temple. Seeing her inexpressible beauty, the great heroes present dropped their weapons and fell to the ground unconscious. Rukmini walked with deliberate steps until she noticed Krishna. Then, as everyone looked on, Sri Krishna took Rukmini onto his chariot. Like a lion claiming his rightful share from a band of jackals, he drove back all the opposing kings and slowly made his exit, followed by his associates. Jarasandha and the other kings, unable to bear their defeat and dishonor, loudly condemned themselves, declaring that this defamation was like a petty animal stealing away what rightfully belongs to the lion. And now we'll continue with text 1. Today we're going to do 2 texts, text 1 and text 2. Shri Shuka Uvacha Vaidarbhya Satu Sandesham Nishamya Yadunandanaha Pragya Panina Panim. Oh, sorry. Pragriya Panina Panim Prahasan idam abravit. Shishuka uvacha. Vaidarbhya satu sandesham. Nishamya yadunandanaha. Pragriya panina panim. Prahasan idam abravit. Shishuka uvacha. Vaidarbhya satu sandesham. Shishuka uvacha. Shukadev Goswami said, Vaidarbhya, of the princess of Vidarbha. Sa, he, to, and. Sandesham, the confidential message. Nishamya, hearing. Yadunandanaha, Lord Krishna, the descendant of Yadu. Pragriya, taking. Panina, by his hand. Panim, the hand of the Brahmana messenger. Prahasan, smiling. Idam, this. Abravit, said. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, thus hearing the confidential message of Princess Vaidarbhi, Lord Yadunandana took the Brahmana's hand and smiling spoke to him as follows. Please repeat. Shukadev Goswami said, thus hearing the confidential message of Princess Vaidarbhi, Lord Yadunandana took the Brahmana's hand and smiling spoke to him as follows. So there's a commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami on this, very short ones. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, in the 53rd chapter, Krishna goes to Kundina city, is worshipped by Bhishmaka and steals Rukmini when she leaves the city to worship Durga. Though Rukmini was disturbed internally and externally by her attachment to Krishna, Krishna, though attached to her and moved internally, did not show that and instead smiled and began to speak. And Jiva Goswami says, the word tu indicates a different topic, Krishna's reaction to the message. He took the Brahmana's hand in a remarkable way, pragriya, with symptoms of prema, such as hairs standing on end. He took the Brahmana's hand to establish friendship and to show affection. He smiled remarkably, prahasan, with slight embarrassment and with joy. He would give joy to the Yadus by marrying her, Yadu Nandanaha. Okay, so now we'll go on to text 2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Tataham api tachchito nidram cha na labhe nishi vedaham Rukmina dveshan mamodvaho nivaritaha. Translation. The Supreme Lord said, just as Rukmini's mind is fixed on me, my mind is fixed on her. I can't even sleep at night. I know that Rukmi, out of envy, has forbidden our marriage. And the commentaries, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, just one sentence, I know that Rukmi has prevented his sister's marriage to me. And Jiva Goswami, just as her mind is fixed on me, my mind is fixed on her. I cannot even sleep. Cha means even, at night. What to speak of enjoyment of other things? I know the cause of this problem, and therefore I should resolve it. Sanatan Goswami, just as her mind is fixed on me, my mind is fixed on her. I cannot even sleep. At night, what to speak of enjoying other things? Or, am I similar to her? No, my condition is more severe. I cannot even sleep because I know Rukmi has forbidden our marriage completely. He has decided to marry her to Shishupal. So I'll read the verses again. So the translations of text 1 and 2 are, Shukadev Goswami said, thus hearing the confidential message of Princess Vaidarbhi, Lord Yadunandana took the Brahmana's hand and smiling spoke to him as follows. The Supreme Lord said, just as Rukmini's mind is fixed on me, my mind is fixed on her. I cannot even sleep at night. I know that Rukmi, out of envy, has forbidden our marriage. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My obeisances to all the Vaishnavas, to Maharaj and all the devotees. Thank you for letting me speak on these on Srimad Bhagavatam. And yesterday Maharaj was talking about how these topics are confidential, guyam, and they're hidden in the hearts of the pure devotees. We can't understand them by our own intellectual abilities, but the pure devotees, because they have them in their heart, they can, give it to us. So I pray to all the Vaishnavas that I can get some of that confidential knowledge, realized knowledge. So in these verses, what stood out to me is Krishna's love for his devotees and his care for us, for all of us, his deep love and care for every, his devotees, and we're all his parts and parcels. And how he's always thinking about his devotees and anxious to bring them back to him. So, first of all, Krishna's always thinking about, like he's saying here, Rukmini's mind is fixed on me, and my mind is fixed on Rukmini. So Krishna's always thinking about his devotees, just like the devotees are always thinking about Krishna. And also, Krishna is exchanging, has sweet exchange, like the sweet exchange between Krishna and the messenger in verse 1 stood out to me, how he took the Brahmana's hand. In Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada says, he shook the Brahmana's hand. And that reminded me of in the beginning of creation, when Brahma was created, it says Krishna shook Brahma's hand. And in the purport there, Srila Prabhupada says that Brahma is very dear to Krishna because Brahma has this important task and also of trying to, with his parampara, to save so many living entities. And if we follow in the footsteps of Lord Brahma, Krishna may also come and shake our hand. Krishna's he is very much attracted to, especially those who try to spread his knowledge about him. And the point about how Krishna's anxious, he can't sleep at night. He's saying here, I can't even sleep at night. He's thinking about how to save Rukmini. And I was thinking how Krishna, we may think, oh, does Krishna even notice? Does Krishna even care? But Krishna has so much care for us that he's always thinking how to deliver the living entities, how to bring them back to him. So these were some of the points that I wanted to talk about. And the main key kind of takeaway or the element that stood out to me is that Krishna loves us and cares for us. And that just knowing that can give us the desire to also reciprocate with his love and try to return that deep love that he has for us and try to serve him. So the first point was Krishna always thinks about his devotees. And again, I think it was recently, maybe Tuesday, Maharaj was talking about how Krishna is conquered by his devotees, and there were so many quotes about that. And one thing is, one quote about how Krishna always thinks about his devotees and how the devotees are in Krishna's heart and Krishna's in the devotee's heart is from 9th Canto, Chapter 4, Text 68. Sadhavo hridayam mayam. Devotees, sadhus, are in my heart. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham. I am in their heart. Man anyat te na janati. They don't know anything else but me. Naham tebyo managapi. I don't even know anything else but them. And that word, the last two words, managapi, means even by a little fraction of anything. So Krishna, not even by a little fraction is he diverted his attention from his devotees. So the devotees are always in Krishna's heart, and Krishna's always in the devotee's heart. And it also reminded me of Narottam Das Thakur's bhajan, Ebaro Karuna Koro Vaishnava Gosai. And there's a stanza, Tomara Redoye Sada Govinda Vishram Govinda Kohena Mora Vaishnava Paran. Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. And just two more shlokas, just to kind of, to bring us to the point of feeling gratitude, how much Krishna cares for his devotees, is 929. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dvesho stina priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyaham. Mai te means they are in me, and teshu chapyaham means I am in them. And the translation is, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, that doesn't seem very impartial. Like Krishna is saying here that whoever renders service to me in devotion, I especially have a friendship with them. And then the purport, Prabhupada explains that it's just natural that we may feel affection to everyone, but we have a special affection to those who show affection to us or to our family members, like that. So Krishna gives specific attention to his devotees because it's a reciprocal relationship. As they try to serve him, Krishna reciprocates by he loves to serve his devotees too. As the devotees serve him, he wants to reciprocate. And the final verse is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, text 6-7. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. That means his devotees have given up sannyasa. They've given up all their activities for Krishna. Ananye naiva mam dhyayat, being attached, matparaha. Ananye naiva yogena mam dhyayate upasate. They're always meditating upon Krishna and always worshiping Krishna. Tesham, so how does Krishna reciprocate with such devotees? Tesham aham samutarta. He becomes the deliverer. And from what? Mrityu samsara sagarat, from the ocean of mrityu, death. Bhavami na chirat parta. Chirat means a long time, and na chirat means not a very long time. So Krishna comes as a deliverer. In a very short time, he comes, maya veshita chetasam, because they have fixed their minds upon me. So those who have worshipped Krishna, giving up all their activities to Krishna, being devoted to him without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. And I really like the certain section of this purport where Srila Prabhupada says that usually by yogis, by yogic process, they try to go to different planets by their own endeavor. But the devotees do not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. Krishna personally takes responsibility of taking the devotees back to him. He clearly states here that he himself becomes a deliverer. And Prabhupada gives the example of a child. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by his great mercy, comes at once, riding on his bird carrier, Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. So Krishna becomes the personal deliverer of those who really want him. And I love that picture of Krishna on the back of Garuda, reaching out his hand, and the soul in the ocean of material birth and death is raising up his hand, and Krishna's rescuing that soul. So that's the nature of Krishna. Now, when we also read this, I'll talk a little bit more about how Krishna is very anxious to bring us back to him. Because when we read these verses, we may think, well, that applies to a pure devotee, like Krishna's in their heart, I am in their heart. And I always think about them, they always think about me. But I'm not always thinking about Krishna. So it's really Krishna always thinking about me. But we get some examples of how Krishna is always thinking about us. And he's always longing for us to return back to him. It's described that each one of us has a particular relationship with Krishna. That no one else, that flavor of relationship with Krishna, no one else can really fit in, because Krishna is unlimited. His living entities, parts and parcels are unlimited, and each one has a specific exchange with Krishna that's very individual. So Krishna is longing. He has everything, but he's longing for our love, which he can't take unless we give it to him, of course. He doesn't interfere with our free will. So Krishna is always anxious to bring us back to him. And he's sleepless. It says here, I can't even sleep at night. Of course, this refers to he's thinking about Rukmini. We know in Dwarka, Krishna, at night, he can't sleep because he's thinking about the residents of Vrindavan. Here he can't sleep because he's thinking about Rukmini and how to save Rukmini. But we have some evidences also that Krishna also thinks of us like that in the same way, even though we left him and we were been so, unkind in so many ways, just to not reciprocate with Krishna's love for us. And one evidence is from Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Gopakumara comes to Vaikuntha, and Lord Vishnu says, "Welcome, welcome, my dear boy. I am fortunate, most fortunate to meet you. For so long I have been eager to see you. My dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this lifetime, or this, or this, or this, he will finally turn his face to me. But I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I myself have created. So again, he doesn't interfere with our free will, but he's by his words, he's saying here that I didn't want to break the laws of karma, but at the same time, I was thinking, how can I bring you back? You showed me no mercy, and as I considered this, I grew impatient, full of anxiety to receive your favor. So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct and arranged for you to take your current birth. Dear boy, in that divine district of Govardhan, my most beloved abode, I myself became your guru, known by the name Jayanta. Today you have at last fulfilled the desire I have harbored for so long. Please nourish your happiness and mine by staying here forever. So here is the mood of Krishna, thinking and kind of brainstorming. How can I do this? I want to bring the living entity back to me, but the living entity is not showing any interest. How can I interfere and somehow or other give some mercy? And it reminds me also of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, when he was in Navadvip, he was noticing that one thing was some of the Brahmin students were criticizing him because he was chanting Gopi, Gopi, and they're saying, oh, what kind of person is this? And Lord Chaitanya was contemplating, how can I rescue these people who are so offensive? And another section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Lord Chaitanya opened the storehouse of love of Godhead, and he was distributing it freely to everyone. And he was noticing that the Mayavadis were fleeing away. And he was thinking, I want everyone to be immersed in this inundation of love of Godhead. But some are escaping. I have to devise a trick of how to drown them also. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, here's an important point. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to invent a way to capture the Mayavadis and others who did not take interest in the Krishna consciousness movement. This is the symptom of an acharya. An acharya who comes for the service of the Lord cannot be expected to conform to a stereotype, for he must find ways and means by which the Krishna consciousness may be spread. Thus the Lord accepted the sannyas order of life after full consideration. So he was thinking, if I become a sannyasi, then everyone will, out of respect, bow down to me. So in that way, I'll save even those people who are trying to escape. And in another section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya, it's described Lord Chaitanya as the gardener distributing the fruits of love of Godhead. And he's thinking, I'm just one person. How can I distribute all these fruits by myself? And he gives the order here that I would like everybody to help and distribute these fruits of love of Godhead. So this just shows the compassion and the mood of thinking about how to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. And then I was thinking about Srila Prabhupada, that song that Srila Prabhupada wrote on the Jaladuta, Boro Kripa, I'm forgetting the line in the Bengali, but Srila Prabhupada saying, you're so kind that you've given me this task, you've brought me here, you've asked me to do this, but I don't know how to do this because this is such a terrible place. I guess you have some business for me here, but most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. They're absorbed in material life. They think themselves very happy and satisfied, and they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they'll be able to understand it. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I'm simply praying for your mercy so that I'll be able to convince them about your message. So in this way, and then Prabhupada says, I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. And so in this same mood, Krishna has the mood of trying to, he's anxious to bring us back to him. Srila Prabhupada at one point said, Krishna is more anxious to take us back to Godhead than we are to go back to Godhead. And the devotees fulfill that mood of Krishna by also brainstorming. What's the best way in this situation to bring people to Krishna consciousness? They're always inventing new ways, as Prabhupada used that word, inventing, how to bring more people to Krishna. And finally, the one last point was, when this Brahmana came to Krishna with a message, and how did Krishna reciprocate with that Brahmana? It was a very confidential message. Sandesham, the word here. We have the word guyam, and here it's sandesham, very confidential. Krishna took that Brahmana's hand with so much love, and he smiled, and he showed so much gratitude for this Brahmana for bringing that message. And I just connected it to how Krishna is so much, the devotees who try to spread Krishna consciousness, the confidential message of Krishna consciousness, are so dear to Krishna that Krishna takes their hand. He reciprocates so much with those devotees. Of course, the famous verse from Bhagavad Gita is that there's no one more dear than those who spread this message of Krishna consciousness. Ya idam paramam guyam mad bhakteshva bidhasyati bhakti mai param kritva mam evaishyata shamshaya. And they will surely go back to Godhead for doing that. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end, he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. And when Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, he refused to see King Prataparudra. So finally, the devotees told King Prataparudra, the way you can get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya is you dress up like an ordinary person, and when Lord Chaitanya is resting during the Rath Yatra, you just go into that garden and you begin to sing Gopi Gita. And when King Prataparudra began to sing the Gopi Gita, and he came to the verse, Tava katamritam tapta jivanam kavibiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam shrimadatatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhuridajana. It means that the message of Krishna is so beneficial for everyone. And those devotees who are very dear, they spread it all over the world. Bhuvi grinantiye buridajana. They spread it all over the world, and they are considered the most munificent. And when Lord Chaitanya heard that verse, he embraced King Prataparudra. And my Guru Maharaj always makes the point that this verse is implying that, or is suggesting Srila Prabhupada's appearance, because who's the one who spread Krishna consciousness all over the world and who is most dear to Krishna? So from these verses, we can see how Krishna loves his devotees, and not only his pure devotees, he's always anxious even for those who've left him to come back to him, and he's always thinking of ways how to bring them back. And those who try to help him in that mission also become very dear to him. So I was wondering if anyone had any additional comments or points to make on these verses. Any questions? Oh, how fortunate to be that messenger, right? Yes. Yeah. Also the gratitude of Krishna, right? For small service, how Krishna reciprocates so much, even for something so small. Yeah. And also the details in Srimad Bhagavatam, just those small details, how Krishna took, the acharyas explain that his hairs were standing out on end in prema, and he was holding the Brahmana's hand. And I was thinking about how the details that are there in Srimad Bhagavatam just help us to see the reciprocation of Krishna and the devotees, so that we get a little bit of a taste for that. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha.
Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalayatasham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vigamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Angani yasa sakalem Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami
Yeah, the throat, so. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Putale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vacha Negiri Visesha Sunyavati Matsya Jagati Satarane Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shitweta Gadada Siva Sati Gaurvata Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Radha Siva Sade Gaurvata Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Siva Sasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Siva Sade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Golokanana Radha, Golokanana Radha. Jaya Radha, Golokanana Radha, Golokanana Radha. Jaya Hey, Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Radhe, 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 Jaya Radhe. Jaya Shri Radhe.
Chaitodarpanamarjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shat. Thank you. Tatrapitani Amrita Smarane Nakala Etad Drishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavadad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Danuja Kinkaram Bhatitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrishim Vichintaya Nayanam Galadashudaraya Varanam Gadgadaradaya Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishiva Padamratam Anastumam Adarshanam marmahata karotuva yatatava vidadatu lampato mat prananatastusa eva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh my Lord, when will my love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name, when will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.